So basically, you're selling weapons to cartels, opening up pathways for drugs, scheming regime changes, and at the same time painting this very beautiful picture of a much better place to live called the United States of America. So you should be the last person to be upset about people wanting to live in your country. So just be happy about people wanting to live in your country. That means all the money you spend on the US propaganda has worked. And Mr. Trump, if you really want to stop immigrants from coming to the United States, there's no need to use violence and ridiculous searches. The solution is very easy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jingjing Show. I'm your host, Jingjing. Thank you for coming here today. So, is anyone following the news? I know, which one, you may ask. The United States under Trump administration is like a foreigner after eating a spicy hot pot. It feels like fire everywhere. And just when you think it's going to stop, here it goes again. Today we're going to talk about Trump's relentless crackdown on immigrants. You know, when Trump came into the office, they set an unofficial goal of deporting 1 million immigrants within a year, which at this point probably just going to be Elon Musk and his 999,000 kids. And recently, in order to achieve that goal, Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller has been working very diligently on a hardline immigration policy. I don't know how hardline he is, but that hairline of his definitely needs some defense. According to a news report, he literally yelled at immigration and custom enforcement, the infamous ICE, to supercharge and arrest the immigrants. And he was so passionate and genuine. It's like he finally let his inner Oprah Winfrey out. You get a ticket to Ecuador. You get a ticket to Ecuador. You all get a ticket to Ecuador. Oh, but you're from India? You get a ticket to Ecuador anyways. All those dramas against immigrations got to a whole new level. Like the ICE became so desperate. They went look out for people everywhere. They raid schools, they raid kindergartens, and even Home Depot parking lot? Like, that's crazy. Trying to find someone at a parking lot, how desperate are they? Look, I've been single for many, many years, and I'm 37. Even my mom is not that desperate. Yes. The race became so desperate to the point where Disneyland had to come out to confirm the ICE didn't raid them. Because if they did, the only Disney princess that would be safe, who is actually American, would be Pocahontas. Actually, they're probably going to send her to Ecuador as well. But seriously, people are fighting back. They are taking to the streets to protest. Rubber bullets are fired, cars are on fire, armed forces are at the scene, and the US politicians are standing firmly behind these people's constitutional right to protest. No, they're not. They don't like it. US politicians like protest the way I like kids. They are only cute when they are not mine. Remember how much they love the riots in Hong Kong that they founded? Nancy Pelosi called it a beautiful sight to behold. Is the US beautiful to you now, Nance? The sad reality is the United States is faced with an increasingly hostile immigration policy from the Trump administration. In January 2025, Trump tried to take away the birthright citizenship for good. It's something in the Constitution that no previous US president have ever tried to touch. But we all know about Trump. If you tell him, don't touch, he probably will. At least he will try. But why is Trump so against immigration? Well, according to him, all immigrants are rapists. He also thinks immigrants are cheap laborers, therefore making wages in the United States lower. That's That's such a laughable excuse. You know what's really making wages lower in the United States? Capitalism! Let's see you change that with your stupid policy. But seriously, I don't think those are the real reasons. I think Trump is hyper-focused on immigrants because that's the only thing he thought would make him look like a big guy. He's been trying to do that on many, many other issues. For example, the Ukraine crisis. Trump has been talking about resolving the Ukraine crisis the same way your husband are talking about fixing the fence in your backyard. At first, he's like, oh, honey, I can get that done within a day. A few days later, he's like, that's more like a 100-day kind of job. Half a year later, he's like, I know it's been 6 months, but I will get it done at some point. And we all know how that story gonna end. Soon enough, he gonna say, do we really need a fence? Another example, Trump woke up one morning and decided to play tough on China and start a trade war with China. In his mind, that's the only way to get someone's attention. He was so cute thinking China was gonna call them immediately. Little did he know it's 2025. Nobody in China calls anymore with WeChat. He said it was a little tough love. But in the end, he tried to be tough, but got no love. He promised his voters a lot of things, but delivered none. So he's like, what can I do to make my voters think I am the man? So one day, he took a glance of his wife and thought, oh, immigrants. So he shifted his focus on the least protected community in the United States. Throughout history, immigrants in the United States have been taking all the blames. Your economy is shrinking? Blame the immigrants. Crime rate is up? Blame the immigrants. Your marriage is not working? Blame the immigrants. Let's blame everything on the immigrants. Actually, you cannot blame food on the immigrants. Even the most racist person knows the immigrant food is just too delicious. You know what I'm talking about. Every small town in the US has that one Mexican restaurant or Chinese restaurant, and that's the only place that white people need to go if they want to spice up their life. But seriously, stop blaming immigrants for all your problems. It doesn't make you look cool. It makes you look like Chad's mom, Karen. Listen, not every country is an immigration country, we get it, but for the United States, it has to be. Because the country is built on immigrants. Seriously, the California Railroad is literally built on the bodies of Chinese immigrant workers. First, the Europeans immigrated to North America. By immigrated, I mean invaded. They evicted Native Americans. By evicted, I mean massacred. And then went ahead, claimed the land, and by claim, I mean steal. And then they kidnapped Africans from Africa to be their slaves because they needed mass labor. They brought in Latinos to grow crops. They had Irish and Italian migrant workers to build their tunnels, bridges, skyscrapers, and even the White House, the staple of the United States, wouldn't be built without enslaved laborers. So those immigrants were brought to the United States because the US needed them. So if the US suddenly decides they want to be anti-immigration, well, you're about a couple hundred years too late. Even now, Trump has to pause immigration raids on farms, hotels, and restaurants because people in those industries have warned Trump that these raids are taking very good long-time workers away from them. So basically, Trump wants immigration the same way I want my summer body. I want all the benefits, but I don't want to work for it. Plus, this so-called immigrant problem is caused by the US government itself. Over the years, the US has been messing with Latin America like a slushy machine. From 2015 to 2023, more than 2/3 of guns-linked crimes in Mexico can be traced back to the United States. If we take it back further, according to studies, between 1898 and 1994, the US plotted and staged at least 41 coup d'etats in Latin America. Not to mention all the countries that the US has been sanctioned and put under great economic distress. So basically, you're selling weapons to cartels, opening up pathways for drugs, scheming regime changes, and at the same time painting this very beautiful picture of a much better place to live called the United States of America. So you should be the last person to be upset about people wanting to live in your country. It's like you burned down your girlfriend's house while keep bragging how big and beautiful your apartment is. So 2 weeks later, your girlfriend showed up at your door with her suitcases and you're like, nah. So just be happy about people wanting to leave your country. That means all the money you spend on the US propaganda has worked. And Mr. Trump, if you really want to stop immigrants from coming to the United States, there's no need to use violence and ridiculous searches. The solution is very easy. Step 1, stop getting into other countries' businesses. And then just start telling the world, United States sucks. Our democracy is rotten. You only get to choose between a potato and an orange. The land of the free, free deportations. Nothing else is free. The American dream, well, it's just a dream. Wake up. That should do all the work for you. I'll have my secretary fax over my invoice for the consulting service. You're welcome. I'm Jingjing. Thank you.